Welcome to Snagging Grass and Catching Bass. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get this show started.
What's up, everybody? You're watching Snagging Grass and Catching Bass with Bass Stash.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Got a great show. Got Sammy on here tonight. We're going to talk about fishing the north region of Southern California and the southern region. And we're going to break down a lot of these bays. Hang in there because there's going to be a lot of good tips on basically 6 different bays we're going to be talking about. Let's start out. Let's see who's in chat tonight. If you haven't typed in, you're not going to get a shout out. So type your name in real quick. We got one cool tuna in chat. What's up, Jeff? All the way from Kentucky. The judge, of course, says who? And Sammy's in there. What's up, Sammy? Sitting here waiting for us. We got a lot. We got Zachary Riggs. What's up, Zach? How's Ned Riggs doing? Plain old Zach? No way, dude. You're awesome. Brian Rosen says, good evening, guys. What's up, man? Brian Rosen, man. I think he's got the biggest average or the biggest overall bags in the North right now, man. Tearing it up, Brian. Masters for you next year, dude. Jared, what's up, guys? How's it going, Jared? Corey King, what's up? Hooking up. Ken, the fishing fool, what's up, Ken? You are in PB shoutouts tonight. Ken's got a new boat on the water. You guys are all going to take a look at that. Leonard, Bay Creeper, what's up, Leonard? It's been too long, man. Hope I see you soon. It's been a long time. Andrew, what's going on? Also in PB shoutouts tonight with a video. That's pretty cool. We got Paxton in there. What's up? He says, hey, what's up, Sammy? Chet. Mr. Bass Stash himself is in here tonight. He says, what's up, everybody? What's up, Chet? Just got you in the beginning. Oh, look who it is. Our special guest of the evening. Nara is in the chat right now. What's going on? Looking forward to PB shout-outs tonight for you, buddy. Corey Thomas. What's going on, Corey? David. What's going on, David? He says, let's go. And we also got Nick in there. Says, whoop, whoop. I'm in Cincinnati. Is that Cincinnati? Let's go. All around the nation. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the guests. Round of applause. What's up, Sammy? How are you?
How's it going, guys? How you doing,
Good
Brian?
to see you again, man. Had you on like the second show ever, maybe, or the third show ever. So it's been a little bit since we've had you on, but I'm glad to have you on here again. You guys don't know who Sammy is. He's a local saltwater bass fisherman. Does very well in the Spotty Bowl. Follow him on Instagram. He's always out on the water fishing, posting up fish, giving advice to other anglers. We're glad to have you on here, Sammy.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. How's your Spotty Bowl season going this year?
Rough.
Where are you in the standings? Are you in a playoff position? Are you on the bubble? Where are you at?
I think I'm sitting in 10th. So I'm like just outside looking in.
You got what, 3 rounds left here? 3 rounds left. Yeah, you can squeeze in there. I'm pretty excited because in Spotty Bowl this weekend we are heading over to one of my favorite places to fish, and that's Newport Bay. Have you been pre-fishing Newport?
Yeah, I was there last weekend, of course, and did a Saturday session and a Sunday session there as well.
Oh gosh! All right,
Found
what's
some
water
decent
temperature up to?
It's only hovering at like it starts at about 57 and creeps into right about 60 to 61.
Oh my
So it's
gosh!
still rough going.
No way, because down here in San Diego, I was in Mission Bay this weekend and I found 67-degree water. I'm like, oh man, we're 1 degree away from the pop, dude. 68.
Yeah,
like when we popped down
money.
here.
Yeah.
No way. All right, so the south water hasn't pushed its way quite up there to heat up your bays yet, huh?
Not quite, but like it's not the same in the other bays. Huntington Harbor, Alamitos. I was there the Alamitos the weekend before, and they were getting 62, 63, and it's like manageable water, and they were biting. The night bite was fun.
Alamitos is north of Newport too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Is
It's
Huntington hot? Is it warmed up yet up there? I mean,
it's
that's
warm.
kind of
Yeah. We were in Huntington the weekend before that, so about 3 weeks ago, and we were seeing 63 to 64 degree water.
that is odd. What
Yeah.
reasons is Newport so cold? Is there just a deep water out front? It's just not pushing pushing the warm water in there?
Yeah, I think all these like little like cold fronts that keep swarming in just hasn't given it a chance to like level out. It's always like getting shocked, it seems like, and waiting during the work week, and you're like looking forward to like, getting
Yeah.
that bite on, and then only to get ambushed by like stepping into the water. I go barefoot, stepping into the water, and it's like 55, 57,
You
56.
know instantly.
Oh
You're like,
yeah.
uh-oh. If you guys have fished Newport, when that place, I always say pops, when it goes off, man. And it went off last year it took a while. We were with me,
It
Brett,
was, yeah, it
the
was that
playoffs,
last
dude.
round that you guys, yeah.
I was gonna say we had three 80-inch bags and one 79-inch bag between four anglers in a day, and that must have been either beginning of July or into June. But when Newport goes, man, watch out, man. Okay, we got a question already for you here. If you guys have questions for Sammy or me, just type them in the chat. We're both looking at the chat here. Corey King says, "Okay, Sammy, time to explain your screen name." Oh, he instantly turned it off. Come back. So there you go. You're back. Wait, your sound's off.
Out of it, right?
There you go. Hold on,
And
restart. Your sound just came back on. Restart.
oh, so it comes from gaming, really. I used to play a lot of like SOCOM and all those first-person shooter games, and it was just kind of a dig at my opponents, to pee on you. So Sammy pee on you.
So are you what game are you playing?
It was way back in the day. We were playing like SOCOM, and we'd play oh gosh, just a lot of
World of
that first
Warcraft?
person. World of Warcraft, yeah, we did that.
Oh man, I had a 1 year run on World of Warcraft, like gosh, when it first came out. So whenever that was, when you do these 40-man raids and it took like
Yeah,
3 hours to organize 40 people, and then I don't know. That was a crazy game. Okay, so that's it, huh?
yeah.
Nothing. A gaming story. I thought it was gonna be a fishing story.
It was
We
actually a
got another.
gaming thing.
It says first episode here. Do you have an Instagram, Brian? I do. It is snagging grass and catching bass on Instagram, or my main Instagram is Brian likes to fish. Check it out. What's your Instagram, Sammy?
Sammy Pete on you fishes.
There you go. Chad, hookup baits in the house. What's up, Chad? Getting excited for the big tournament this weekend. And Bob Brew is also in here. What's up, Bob? All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and first of all, we talked about this a little earlier. I've been asking people their taco shop order, but I've already asked you that, right? So I'm gonna ask you, what is your fishing setup you have right now? What's your favorite fishing setup? We usually bring how many rods you usually bring?
I'm pretty bad, like 6 to 7 rods.
I was at
You've
I was
seen
at
it.
Marina Del Rey. I was just gonna say that Marina Del Rey. Me and Sammy and a bunch of guys fish the same day, so we always got the water right at one. I saw
Yeah.
your kayak, dude, and let's just say Sammy's got just enough room for 2 feet, and that's it. Everywhere else is sucked up by gear. All right, so Sammy, I'm asking guys, show me your favorite setup right now. Like, what's your confidence? You can have one, you can have two, but what's your favorite setup that you're fishing right now? And give us a down low on it. I'm gonna put you full screen too. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you said my favorite, and I had to bring two because I just can't go with one. Right now, I love the iRod Kaimana 733, and I've got the Bates OG reel on it,
Oh, I see that. That thing's beautiful.
and the
There's only
new
one thing
Mini
wrong with
Ogre,
that though.
and the
Right-handed. What are
new,
you doing?
yeah, right is right. And I've got the Mini Ogre, so I'm a slow pitch guy. I love to pitch docks, and that's kind of my comfort zone to tournament fish. And then this last year and a half, or almost 2 years now, been doing a lot of the crankbait. So I've got the Phoenix X14C, my new JK Baits freshly painted crankbait.
Ooh, I like that. I
And
like that holder. Explain that holder to us.
oh, it's just like a little magnetic rubber band thing, and it's got a little magnets, and so I'm able to like put it back, and that doesn't destroy my rod.
Dude, that is killer. Why have I not seen that? I guess
Yeah,
because I don't fish a lot of treble hooks, but man, that thing is nice.
yeah. So I use that on a lot of my rods to kind of keep them nice and fresh after you spend like $200-300 on them, and you're like, I don't want them all scraped up and everything.
Yeah, no kidding.
And Kevin talked me into getting the Bates Goat Swim 200, and this
Wait,
thing,
what size is that?
the 200.
Wow, it looks like a big 200 to me.
Well, it's got the body of like a 300, and so um, I've been nothing but impressed with the mechanics of it, the torque. It really drills down that crankbait like nothing. I'm used to feeling a lot of tension in my hand when I
Right.
reel, and I don't with these reel.
Nice. Good. Look who's in the chat. Good old Salty Dangler. What's up, man? I miss you, dude. I haven't seen Salty Dangler in forever. Not in Spotty Bullets here, taking care of business at home. But Salty Dangler says, need a link for that hook keeper. What's that hook keeper? What's a brand? Give us the lowdown on that thing.
It's something I found from Amazon, so I'll push it out on my Instagram story. So
Okay, sounds good. And you didn't mention the line that you're fishing on those guys.
so with the crankbait, I'm at 10 pounds, and then with the submission jig, I'm using 8 pounds.
10 and 8.
Figure.
All right. That's okay. Yeah. Well, there's your setups right there. I'm going to show one of my setups that I like. I've been fishing. Man, Kevin's a good salesman, dude.
He is.
I also am fishing a Bates reel right now. My slow pitch, same with you. Oh, and by the way, that 15-gram ogre you have, is that even out yet, or is that limited to testing still right now?
It's out. Yeah, he's
It's
got
out.
it on his website. Yeah, he's waiting for a fresh shipment. It got stuck in the tariffs deal, but he sold out pretty quickly when it was open. But it's due in about a week or two.
I was talking to Muto today, and Muto is Submission Fishing Co. Check him out, submissionfishingco.com. And we're going to have him on when that shipment comes on, because he's got a brand new bait that's going to be released when that comes in, called the Death Blade. And he's coming on. He's going to show that off also. But yeah, same here. Baits reel, LTS, the lighter weight one. I like, for my slow pitch, I go for the light one. I don't know. I like the size of this one, Sammy. It's tiny, light. It's tiny. I can pitch it all day long. But yeah, the LTS bait and the line I'm using
righty for me.
The line that I'm using. Sorry, Sammy, your audio was cutting out a little bit right there. What was that?
He didn't have a righty for me. Otherwise, I would have bought it at the show too.
He saved the lefty for me. But I'm using this new braid. Have you tried this yet? This samurai braid, just like J braid. Something I've never heard of it. I'm sure you guys have all heard of it a million times, but I usually use just the J braid. But I saw the samurai, and it's a little thinner, a little more expensive, but heck, it's a baits reel, right? So I've gone 2 sessions with that stuff, and it's working pretty good. All right, we got a question here. How many In-N-Out cheeseburgers can you get with that? What you spent on that rod? Jeez, you don't even want to know.
All of you guys,
you don't even want to know. I know. You know what though? I mean, Cash was on the show the other night. He said, "Oh, those reels are expensive," but it seems like I started out with, like everybody, or Walmart combos, and you kind of go through that, and you get like 10 Walmart combos, you get one good one, and then you're like, oh man, this is so much better. Then you sell off those Walmart combos, you move your way up to a little bit, Fuego or something, SLX, and then next thing you know, you're into the baits world. So it's just the progression of fishing, unfortunately.
And I feel like
Fisherman's in here. What's up?
I feel like you're gonna cry once, and like the way these things are made, they're so solid, CNC machined. You don't feel any flex, you don't feel any deterioration. So like my Tatulas that I was fishing before that, I'd have to service them probably every 6 to 8 months, and then after about a year or two, they were never close to being the same. So I'd buy another $200 reel, another $200 reel. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you pay for quality, you get what you pay for sometimes, right?
Yeah.
All right, Sammy, let's go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and move on to some Oops. Getting ahead of myself here. Some weekly news, guys. If you guys have any tournaments or any weekly news you want to send me, or if you have something coming up, or any events, or trash cleanup events, whatever, send them to me and I'll put them on weekly news so these guys that watch a show know that they can participate in some of these events. First up, we got Spotty Bowl, of course. Spotty Bowl coming up to Newport this weekend, the 25th through 77th. Don't forget to declare your day. I think the shore guys have already started, but us guys in Vessel Division, 25th through 27th, declare your day. You guys all know what to do by this point. San Diego guys, we're coming back May 2nd, so we got a weekend or so off here. So let's take advantage of it. Check out your gear, do what's up. Mike Brown's in here, Spotty Stalker. He says, "What's up, everybody? Here's my 10-minute check-in." Mike Brown is working tonight, but he's still checking in. We appreciate that, Mike. Tanner says, "Hey, woo. What's up, Tanner?" First up, we got a tournament coming up, second annual Blue Collar Classic, and this is put on by Driftwood Mike. So did you fish this last year?
Yeah.
This is kind of an interesting format. You can fish the entire summer from May 26th to September 1st, and you're fishing for the biggest bag for that time period. So what is that, Sammy? Are you guys is Sammy cutting out a little bit here? Sammy, I think your feed just cut out. There you go. Now you're good. It starts May 26th in September 2nd. He's got a lot of good sponsors on this. When we get a little bit closer, I'll have some more info about this tournament series, but it's a long series. Is it 24/7?
24/7. Whenever you want to fish, you literally just go to the app, grab your code, and fish whenever you want. And like the code changes on a daily, so like they know it's a fresh fish. It's a great way to learn. I mean, you literally get so many months to build your best 5-fish bag.
I was talking to Driftwood about that. I'm like, dang, what was the winning bags last year? I think they were like in the 83 to 85 inch range. So
yeah.
when you have that much time to, nail down a bunch of 16s,
my buddy Tyler, who just started fishing the salt, we got him into it, and he's the one that actually won first place last year.
What?
Yeah.
His very first tournament? What was his bag size?
His very first tournament, and he literally went all in. He fished 13, 16-hour days. He went days. He went nights.
Good. Well, he deserved it.
Yeah, he literally worked his butt off for it.
If you're interested in this, contact Driftwood Fishing 760 on Instagram. That's Mike, or Driftwood 760 on our club Discord or Spotty Bowl Discords. You get hold through him, and he'll tell you it's run through this Fish Chaos app. So more info on that when we get a little closer. Next up, we got this right here. This is a big weekend right here. Chad at Hookup Baits is helping run this tournament, but this is the U.S. Angling Tournament. You going to do this one?
I thought about it, but like with Spotty Bowl being this weekend, I don't think I'm gonna squeeze like being down there for 2 days.
Eesh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chad, are you fishing both? That's right. I forgot. I know he's fishing this. How does the LA area have worse internet than Ramona? Is it your phone just switching sideways or something weird? I don't think it's the internet up there. I think it's something going on up there.
I think a bunch of notifications popping out. I gotta turn it on, turn off.
What's up, Josh Sanchez? He says, "What's up?" Chad says he's doing both. Dang, man, you're gonna have some sore legs, dude. Because I know. Let me read a little bit about this U.S. angling if you guys are first tuning in for this. And guys, we have over 50 people in here, so I appreciate if you guys can hit that like button and please subscribe. We're trying to get to. I'm trying to just hit 300 subscribers right now. It says get ready for the first ever fishing tournament of this kind in Southern California. This exciting 2-day will be a species-based, not side-based. So if you're not a spotty bowler or you're not a spotty guy, but you're a bay guy and you know how to, get a bunch of different species out there, this is for you. Not size-based, must be fished from a self-powered kayak. Man, that's gonna a lot of you guys.
No problem.
Yeah, me too. From my kayak, at least. A lot of you guys are gonna have to get those legs. Dale, Frank, you guys better get in shape for this. You only got 2 days left. Your tournament includes this, so it's $125 to enter. Let me go to the next slide here. It's $125 to enter. And you say, man, but that's a 2-day tournament, and this is what it includes: 2 full days of fishing, Friday evening captain's meeting and dinner. So 1 dinner, right? Saturday evening after fishing dinner, 2 dinners, Sunday evening awards and a dinner. So 3 dinners. So that's even if you just go for that, and you're going to get to hang out with some fishy guys out there. Chad's going to be out there. You can pick his brain. So during that dinner, man, it's a good time to talk to these guys about whatever type of fishing they'll, tell you, sometimes some secrets are told at these events. The entire San Diego Bay is open for fishing. You can drive to the back bay and launch back there, but you must start at the Shelter Island launch that is a designated start and stop time. So you got to be at that launch at the start and at the stop. And the cool thing is, if you want one of these belts back here that TB Metal Art makes, this is a good way to earn one in one weekend. So if you're looking to get a championship belt, not only are there many prizes, but there's also going to be a championship belt given out, and that's pretty cool. So then also on top of that, the top 10 from this tournament will qualify for a tournament in Florida where the top 10 will make it to the USA saltwater kayak team. Signups are on iAngler app today. Hope to see you there. That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
It's pretty neat. We have an event like this in San Diego, guys. So these things don't come around very often. This is the first ever. So if you're interested in this, and man, if you are interested in competing basically around the world on the USA kayak team, go for it. This is it. What are you guys waiting for? Carl Blacks in the chat says, you lost me. What? Talk about Carl. We know you're there. I think there's about 15 to 20 people signed up right now, guys. So we're looking, I know there's a lot of people that are waiting for the last minute, deciding if they're going to do it or not, but I would say get on there sooner than later. Okay, next up in the news, another tournament. Man, a lot of tournaments going on, Sam. That's everybody's figured out that the salty tournament, the Bay Bass tournaments are a big deal, but Grumpy Spotty Bay Bass tournament. This is the Marlins Club, $60 to enter, $40 in side pots. That is May 10th. I'll get some more specifics about that when I get closer, but it looks like it's a weigh-in, so I'm gonna have to figure out what that means. Weigh stations open at 2 p.m. This is the killer though, 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. You ever fish anything like that?
Holy cow! What is that? 13 hours? 14? No, like
that right there is 11 hours, right?
Wow. Yeah,
11 hours. So was that 4 hours longer than Spotty Bowl?
Yeah.
That's a grind. Insane. But hey, man, you can pull out I don't know, maybe a big bag in that amount of time.
Yeah.
If you want to get in on that, let's see here. How do you get in on that? You go to the Marlins Club webpage and there's links that'll take you to the signups for that. And next up, we got the CCA apps and taps coming up. Judge has already filled up our table of 10. Judge, are you open up a second table for this? Usually our club, Spotty Bowlers, and our local club Discord get together. We all go hang out at this. It's at the Marina Village on Mission Bay. It is, what's the date here? May 17th. I don't know if that's a Spotty Bowl weekend. Maybe. But it's May 17th on a Saturday. I've been to all three prior to this, and they're a good time. Live music. A lot of raffle prizes given out at this too, guys. So, and it includes a 1-year membership to the CCA, and all the money goes to the CCA. Last week, I announced that they were still repairing the Shelter Island boat launch ramp. Doesn't affect you, Sammy, but for everybody that has a boat or a kayak, half of our dock has been damaged and ruined. And my street team out there is taking a picture. Guess what? They finished it on time. I never thought they would, but it is done. Supposedly it is done. I haven't been down there yet, but my street team took a picture and said, Brian, it's done, and we're using it. So, all right, congratulations.
There you go. Hallelujah.
Video getting it done on time. There's no way. I showed the pictures of it, and it was like, man, they really went all out at the very end there. But yeah, so it's done. That's good news. Give us some room to spread out, eh? Zachary Riggs says it is open. Yeah, I know. That's why I hear. Can't wait. Judge says the table got sold out, but you can buy single tickets for the CCA at this time. Yep, single tickets. Okay, let's go ahead, and that is our weekly news. Let's go ahead and move on here. What day are you fishing on Newport here, Sammy?
I'm sorry?
What day are you fishing Newport?
Still kind of bouncing between like Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, I have no idea yet. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Nothing will work for me. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our main topic here.
Hi, this is K-Dog. If you're not watching Snagging Grass and Catching Bass, you are wrong.
Let's go, Kate. Let's go, Cal. right, here we go, Sammy. If you guys saw the thumbnail
cool.
of this show, it is who has the best fishing bays, LA/Dodgers or San Diego/Padres. No, I'm just kidding. You are a Dodgers fan, though, I hear, right?
I am.
Oh my gosh! Oh, all right. We'll still
Corey
allow
gives
you
me
on the
grief
show.
all the time.
Padres are doing pretty good this year. Are we tied?
You guys just got ahead of us today. We lost, so.
Oh, all right. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be down to the wire again. Hopefully,
Yeah.
and we're injured up right now, but it's
Yeah,
gonna
we
be a
got a
fun season. I think there's gonna be a lot of drama in both stadiums when we face each other. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's go,
Can't
Zach.
wait.
Let's go, Padres. How many Dodger fans are in here? Okay, guys. So basically, me and Sammy, I fish both spotty bowls. So that's where I get my experience from LA, is by going up there once a month, or I guess sometimes twice a month, going up there and hitting those bays up north. And I do love those bays. But I've been fishing the San Diego bays my entire life. So Sammy's going to be talking mostly about the north, and I'm going to be talking about the south, and we're going to figure out what we like. But first, let's find out some statistics about these bays. I like numbers. I don't know why. I just do. Let's talk about the size of these bays by acres of water. So an acre, if you ever seen like an acre of land, it's, pretty big. I think it's like 43,000 square feet, something like that. So an acre is a pretty big area. Size of bay by acre, San Diego Bay coming in heavy, 12,000 acres, Mission Bay, 2,300, Newport, 1,000, Huntington, 6,800. I thought Huntington would be a little bigger than that. Marina Del 4,300. Did you think Alamitos was that small?
I really thought Marina Del Rey was like smaller than Alamitos. Wow.
And
I don't know if
guys,
that number's right.
these numbers I ask Jeeves, and this is what I get. So when I go to ask Jeeves, this is what I get. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but this is the interwebs. That's the only information I can get. I don't have a survey or anything. So I think they're accurate. I tried to double check on Ask Jeeves, DuckDuckGo, and Google, and this is what I came up with. So hopefully these are accurate. 12,000 acres, San Diego Bay. I knew that would come in that, because San Diego Bay is huge. For me to cross San Diego Bay from the entrance to the back in a boat is like 30, 40 minutes. And that's going not 5 miles an hour. That's flying. It tells you the size of San Diego Bay. Newport, though, that's your biggest bay up there. 1,000 acres. And I thought that was probably similar to Mission, but no, not even close. Half the size.
Wow.
I guess when you include we have an area called Sail Bay. It's like a giant body. And then we have also an area in front of Fiesta Island that's a giant body. And I think that's the majority of our 2 bays right there. Alamitos,
Okay.
I can see that, though, because it's like all those skinny channels, got like that one area, and it's all skinny channels. Miles of shoreline. So for you shore pounder guys, miles of shoreline, San Diego Bay, 34 miles, Mission Bay, 27, Newport, 10, Huntington, 10, Marina Del Rey, only 8, and Alamitos, only 5. Doesn't that seem, I don't know.
Yeah, it seems really small.
Light. But if you think about it, it's just got that center island / peninsula in the middle with that everything going around it. So
Naples Island. My legs tell me like Alamitos is like way bigger than Marina Del Rey, because I feel like I can get you from the front to the back of Marina Del Rey in half the time as Alamitos.
I wonder if they're including all the way out to the break wall. Because that jetty is pretty pretty long and pretty wide. And that area in front of the break wall is pretty big. I bet they're including that. Let's see. We got some comments here. Steve, what's up? We didn't fish it, but Long Beach Harbor is enormous. Yeah.
That's true.
We took that out at the last minute just because, I don't know, they're getting those kayaks in Long Beach Harbor with all those sea cargo ships and all that action going on, and it's, I don't know. You know that place better than me. What do you think about us taking that out of Spotty Bowl?
I was actually looking forward to it for a little bit, just because I started to pre-fish the area a little bit and kind of figured out the harbor, and thought like we do pretty well.
We fish that in the SBS series, but usually we fish the outside. But when we do fish the inside of that, it seems like a ton of sand bass in there. I don't really remember that being known for like big spotties, but am I wrong on that? Or is it seemed primarily like sand bass?
Yeah, I think you're wrong, because we've seen them.
Really? Are they by that
16.
island, like straight out from that beach?
Yeah, not too far from the prison.
Let's see here. Salty Dick says 35 miles and only 2 fishable miles. He's talking about San Diego Bay. I don't think there's even that many in San Diego Bay, Salty. San Diego Bay, unfortunately, has a lot of shoreline, but there's a lot of stuff on the shore that blocks us from fishing the shoreline. Number of boat slips. So the guys that fish docks, I guess this would be pretty important. Sammy, you are frozen on a big spot. There you go. The number of boat slips. Is that your thing? The boat slips?
Oh yeah.
All right, so here we go. San Diego Bay, man, 4,800. That's a lot of pylons right there. Mission Bay was hard to figure out. I tried to figure that out as best I could. That's give or take a couple hundred. I'm not sure, but 1,800 is kind of what I figured out. Newport 2,000. Look at Huntington. Marina Del Rey. How's that possible? Is there a boat every single inch? Marina Del Rey, like one of the smallest bays, but coming in heavy with the docks, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of docks. I did enjoy that bay.
That's all it was. There's like a main channel down the middle, the channel everybody goes through, and then every 100 yards there's an arm to another group of docks and another group of docks, and then there's a far back, there's a front. I don't know, Marina. I should like Marina Del Rey. I had a pretty good day on Marina Del Rey, so I do like that bay. I'm not gonna lie. I've only fished there twice in my life. But, I do like that place. Alamitos, I thought that would have more, but I guess because of its size, 1624. But everybody seems pretty hefty.
Yeah.
Newport, that kind of makes sense because that's like houses with their own private dock and a yacht out front, not the stacked on top of each other boats. I love MDRA, yeah. And military. Yeah, there's a lot of military in San Diego Bay. Let's see, we got some other comments. I was able to ask Carl, I fished outside Long Beach Island. Okay. All right. And let's move on to some other things about these bays. So average depth, and they're pretty standard on this. San Diego Bay, it says 21 feet, but the thing unique about our San Diego Bay is we've got a really deep channel that has a lot of current through it. Have you got any experience on San Diego Bay?
Yeah, I've like over by Coronado Bridge or where?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the channel.
I've hit there.
So if you go past the Coronado Bridge and you look to the east, there's a huge shipyard there where we're building military boats, all kinds of ships back there. So what they've got is I think they've dredged the entire center of our bay so that these ships, cruise ships, sea cargo ships, whatever, are coming in and out. So we have points in that bay that are 60 feet deep. And for a bay, that's pretty unique. And when we get a bay like that, it brings in, I think, if I said any of the bays out of this list that have the most species in it, I would say San Diego Bay. Not just because of that deep water, but it's got a big area, a lot of in and out water quick, and it has a lot of different species in that.
Yeah, that's kind of the way the Long Beach is too, because of those big cargo ships and everything. They get some deep trenches. I mean, you can go from like 12 to 15, all of a sudden it's like 50, 60 feet, and it's those deep trenches hold some really good, different types of species like sand bass and calicos are not too far along all these rocky edges and everything. So yeah, super mixed bag.
Super mixed bag, San Diego Bay. Mission Bay, 12 feet. Yeah, that sounds about right. Most of that is right around 15 feet unless you go up in the shallows. It gets deep. It gets about 25 feet deep, maybe, like right before Quivarium Basin. Newport, pretty flat. You get a little bit deep out in front of the lifeguard area. What's it, maybe 30 feet deep, 25 feet deep over there?
Yeah.
But the majority of it's just flat. Huntington, what's up with that one? I don't have any experience there. I'm one night fishing there.
I honestly have not seen 15. I mean, I thought the whole bay was like 10 feet deep.
It's an average, so maybe over by the bridge, and maybe they calculate. And you know what? Like I said, I got this from Ask Jeeves, so hopefully, it's it's
super shallow.
But most of them are 15 feet. Alamitos, 11 feet. I believe that.
Yeah.
Alamitos, even in the big wide area out front, the desert by Ballast Point, there's it's pretty shallow all through that. Cave Dog's in here. What's up? Let's get started. He says snagged. We got a comment from Carl, says Long Beach Bay meetup. You got a meetup coming up? Is that part of the Salty Bastards or something?
Yeah, it is.
When's that happening?
So the next one is up at MDR in May. I want to say it might be May 12th.
Okay.
Or May 17th, one of those. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Send me the info. I'll put it on here if you guys want to put a shout out on the show. Send me the info, and we'll see if we can get you some. Not that you guys need it. I'm sure that place. Oh, here we go. May 17th, Marina Del Rey. Ooh,
There you go.
Marina Del
Thanks,
Rey.
Joe.
There you go. All right. So what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to actually go into Google Maps, and Sammy here is going to give up every single spot where all the big fish are, right?
I mean, I wish I had that place figured out, but I mean, we had that one great weekend where like everybody was catching numbers, and you were catching quality.
Yeah, I got
in one
super
spot.
lucky. Let me see if I can get this technology working here, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be good. All right, so let's zoom in on Marina Del Rey. Let's talk about Marina Del Rey a little bit. Let me zoom out. So this is the whole bay. Like we were talking about, it's tiny. So if you look at it in a whole, the cutoff for Spotty Bowl is right here at the end of this jetty, right at the end. So you can fish this channel and then everything inside of it. And you guys can see pretty much, Sammy, where the boat launch ramp's way over here.
Yeah, to the right.
Yeah, there it is. Is that it?
Come down some, I think.
Let me zoom out here. See, I don't know this place very well, but the boat launch ramp I know is over here to the right. There it is.
At the very bottom. Yeah, bottom finger.
This right here, this spot right here, that's where I slept in my truck overnight. And right over here by this pile of dirt, that's where there was a fist fight at 2 a.m. Is that standard business down there or what?
Must be.
Marina Del Rey is 135 miles from my house, so I decided to stay the night in that one. But here's where you launch at, guys. So when you launch out, I caught a fish right here on this corner of this dock. Right here, like my first fish was a 13.5, so that was like a pretty decent spot right there because it's like a building and this little barge sticks out. Unfortunately, there's a sea lion that was living on there, but I'm gonna say recommend first drop right there. And I have no spots here, but I caught a fish there, so I'm gonna have to call it out right there. But
Yeah.
I know a lot of people went back and a lot of people went front, and I think the water temperature was pretty similar front to back on this one. And as you guys can see, if you're a dock fisherman, like we were talking about, that's pretty much all she wrote up here. Docks galore. So what can you tell me about this place, Sammy? I don't have any experience here. So
well, I mean, unlike some of the other harbors, I couldn't find a lot of grass, except out front by the jetty, and right down the middle of the main channel. So if you're a grass fisherman and like doing paddle tails and things like that, you're not going to really find them when you go into those fingers. I found more like sandy bottoms and like maybe a patch or two of grass. Pitching SPJs or hookup baits into those pilings was basically one of the techniques that was pretty successful for most of the guys. A lot of hazards though. I mean, there was a lot of crustaceans and whatnot on those pilings because I was breaking off like crazy, and I probably lost somewhere between 10 to 12 lures that day.
Yeesh.
I even
Is that
tried
hooking fish or snagging them on the pylons?
No, I mean they got bit, and then they would take me into a piling or into the bottom clam beds and whatnot, and break off. But like they were good tugs too.
We had some good fish. The Spotty Bowl Biggins was overwhelming that week. So that place popped off, and I think we had a good weekend there because a lot of like Chet in chat said like the week before was dead. Yeah. And I think when we held our Spotty Bowl weekend there, I think Mike Brown was in there and got like 5 15s before the sun even came up. I don't know.
He was bragging like 2 hours in. He's like, I'm throwing 14s back. I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's his common day though. Yeah. I had some pretty good, decent luck back here in this beach area. I don't know what the name of this beach is, but this particular strip right here,
Mother's Beach. That's where I would normally launch, but I found out that morning that they had construction and they had it all fenced off. So that's why you saw us all at the boat ramp that morning.
Oh, you guys had to pay like me, a bunch of suckers, huh?
Yeah.
By the way, it's $12 up there. So guys, if you're interested in Marina Del Rey, it's a lot of docks, small area. I think if you're into dock fishing and you're a kayak fisherman, it's perfect because it's a slow paddle or a short paddle, so you can get around pretty easy.
Go big on your line. Go big on your line. There's a lot of hazards.
Yeah, monoliter probably is what I recommend for abrasion. Monoliter works really good. Maybe a 12 or 15, even if that's happening there. If the bite's hot. If you're a grass fisherman, I like that advice. Kind of out front here, and then there's like the only bit of grass. But if you're not a grass fisherman, you're a dock fisherman. Here you go. There's your Disneyland. All right,
Yeah,
let's move
docks
on.
galore.
Docks galore. Yep. Let's go ahead and move on to the next bay. What do we got next here? We got Newport. Oh boy, Newport. Hold on a second. I love Newport. So
What's not
let me
to
get it
love
up
about
here.
Newport? It's got everything you want.
Yeah.
You could be a dock guy. You could fish the moorings. There's so much grass all over the place. If you're a grass kind of guy, um, out by the jetty, you get a lot of different species. We get calicos and sandies going through that channel right there.
Yep.
And
I always reference this area as the lifeguard or the fire station because there's like a lifeguard station right up here. You could see it right here.
yeah,
And I always say the lifeguard area, and then that to me is this whole channel right here. And there's if you God, you can almost see it on Google Maps right here. You can almost see the grass right there. I don't know if that's coming through
yeah,
on your guys' screen, but you can see these patches of grass right here. And then there's like a dredged channel right down
yeah,
this. So right at the edge of this grass right here is a pretty good drop off. I'm gonna say this is like 15 and this is what 25 maybe.
yeah.
So
Between 20
when
to 25.
you'll see a lot of kayakers posted right out in this front area right here because a lot of these fish will, during the daylight or when it's full sun, go down to the deep and hang on these drop offs. And then, if they're eating basically in this grass, all the razor clams and everything up here. So I see a ton of you kayakers over here, everybody over here in this mooring boat area. So if you're a grass fisherman and you can also slow pitch or hook up baits in these areas, this is a good area to just kind of drop in and hit all these mooring boats. I would say this is probably the most popular fishing area in Newport. Is this whole, not specifically this, but this whole general area. But
Yeah, I'd agree.
if you're a dock fisherman, you got plenty of those up here too. So a lot of mooring boats. But if you look at the whole shoreline, it's a little different than like Marina Del Rey, to where it's like rows and rows. These are like private homes, but then they've got docks out in front of them, and they're a little more spread out, and they're usually floating docks. Some of them have pylons, but there's tons of dock fishing around here. And don't forget this house right here. This is the John Wayne house, right?
Yeah,
That's John Wayne's old house right there. And he's got like probably the most famous dock right here because it's got all this nice like plants and everything out in front of it. And I always fish that. You always hit that corner.
I always do. Yeah.
I think that might be my first drop usually because the launches for me,
Over
what's
by
that
the boat
called?
ramp. Yeah.
Dunes. What's it called? Something Dunes.
Newport Dunes. Yeah.
Newport Dunes, yeah. And then I go to John Wayne, and I heard this White House right next to it. That's Nicolas Cage's old house. That's what I heard on the interwebs. I'm not sure if it's true, but I think
Didn't
that
know
used to
that.
be Nicolas Cage's old house. So you got some celebrities on this, but then you also they have like all the other bays. They've got a back bay, which is back here, and you can make a total loop. I see a lot of spotty anglers fishing these docks here too.
Yeah.
A little tight in these ones for me. I can get the outside, but in the boat, I can't really get in these ones. So what do you experience anything good in those general areas?
I do like it up there. I do like getting into the nooks and crannies, as you've seen me. I get deep in
Yeah.
there.
All you guys and the kayak and float tubers and get all these. I'm so jealous sometimes of that. But then you go around the corner here and you can make a loop. My advice for spotty bowl is try to cover as much water as you can in Newport, and you got to figure out where they're at. Are they in the front? Are they in the back? Or in the middle? And in the grass? Or in the docks? You just have to figure it out. And once figured out, stick that area and get as many as you can. Glenn Goes Fishing's in here. What's up, Glenn? He says snagged. Carl Black says, I love me some Newport. Gonna be fun this weekend. I hope so. I'm not liking the 57-degree water I'm hearing about over there, but I hope it's good. All right, let's move on to the next bay here. Okay, here we go. The big boy, San Diego Bay. What's your experience on that?
Mostly the Coronado Bridge. That's just been the only area that I've really fished. Besides on a couple of boats, couple times out there by the bait station, and shore pounded a few times, on like family trips going down there and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a fishy, very, very fishy bay.
So a lot of the kayakers will launch right out of here, which is Tidelands
Yep.
Park. It's a good park, good parking. Low tide kind of sucks because it's super muddy. If you go in there low tide, bring your kayak out over in this little area right here. You can avoid some of the mud. But the cool thing about this place is it's got, similar to Newport, a bunch of mooring boats out front. So if you're new to San Diego Bay and you're up in LA and you never fished down here, this is a great place to launch. Free parking, free launching, and the fishing's right in front of you. All these boats right here hold spotties, and if you come right out front, let's see if I can see on Google Maps. You'll see a little bridge right here, some kind of pipe or something right here. If you go straight out from there, if you have a graph on your kayak, there's a nice reef right here, and there's all kinds of species in there. I was in a tournament once where in that reef right there where somebody pulled salty dangler. Was it an 8-pound sand bass out of there? So there could possibly some
Wow.
big fish in these reefs over here. So this is a great area if you're new. Watch the Beef Shaman. He's always over here in his float tube in this area by the bridge. And we've got the South Bay area, which, and let me zoom way out. You can see how big the South. So that's the Coronado Bridge right there. And this is all fishable waters right here, guys. And this is a huge area. It's super shallow here. At low tide, it can be like some of this area is only like 5 feet deep. It's very, if you're going back there in a boat, be very careful. Stick over here to this side because they've dredged a channel for all the boats that go to the back. So stick to that side right there. But if you wander into this shallow area, it can be, geez, you can get your boat stuck. It can be 2 feet deep back there. So be careful about there. But if you're a grass fisherman, oh man, you can go back here and grass fish all day long in the back bay. And if you want like 100 fish day, you may not get like a ton of giants. But if you want like a day, see this beach right here, you got to go out in front of this grassy area right here or behind this bridge right here, just whole area right here. Just go out there at whatever you fish, A-rig, cool bait, crankbait, hookup bait, whatever you fish out there. And that's an area that the back bay, I think a lot of people don't fish this, Sammy, because it's a pedal and it gets, you got to get out there in the morning. Cause if you wait until, why don't I have you on here? If you wait, there we go. If you wait till later in the day, it's a windy mess. Let's just say that it's a windy mess. There's nothing to break the wind. So you got to get out there by 10 a.m. I would say get out of that place because it can be a nightmare back there when it's super windy. But yeah, Mel says halibut's back there. Yeah, I know. You sent it in for PB shoutouts. My PB halibut came right. Let me see if I can zoom in. My PB halibut came. There's like a yellow buoy like right here. And this is exactly where I got my PB halibut, 42-incher right there. So yeah, if you want a halibut game, that's a good spot right there. Other than South Bay, you got this big main channel right here. It breaks off, and here's the Rady shell. During the Bloody Decks tournament, I got a big halibut was right here, and that's the fish that was like big halibut of that tournament. But you got some nice docks in here. And if you're into dock fishing, so if you're launching out of Tidelands and you're not a grass person, you can just paddle right on over to these docks right here. This all right over here on the back is all military. We can't fish that. But you got a nice set of docks right there at the Rady Shell. And then you've got some mooring boats over here, similar to fishing Newport. Mooring boats. You got some nice docks back here. This is the Coast Guard station, by the way. And this is the Midway right here, just so you guys have a reference. Got a nice deep channel right down the middle right here. A lot of guys will just set up and drift this big deep channel and drop down to the bottom, and there's all fish all the way through this big channel. Sometimes a year they're down there, sometimes they're not. But if you're struggling, I always say try to figure out where they're at. They're in the deep channel, they're in the grass, or they're in the docks. Just figure them out. Yeah. Another nice place to launch is this Liberty Park area. A lot of kayakers where it's free parking there. It's a nice little beach. And if you're fishing this portion of the bay, you got Spanish Landing here. Excellent dock fishing in there. And then this is one of the favorites, which is America. Am I spending too long on San Diego Bay? It's big. We got America's Cup here, mooring boats, docked. Then we've got over here too. I think this is called Kit. What is it called? I always forget the name of this area. What's the name of this area? Anyway, that's a lot of good docks right there. The police station and the Coast Guard's right here. And then you've got the main channel going out the jetty. miscellaneous bag. If you're going for species, like in that tournament this weekend, there's a miscellaneous bag all through here. There's a nice reef over here. Fish that, and you also have the bait dock and all that. That is San Diego Bay. It's massive, guys. So if you guys up north have never fished it, I would recommend coming down here, spending the day down here. If I'm going to say one spot to launch from, if you're going for spotties, just launch from that Tidelands Park by the bridge right there and fish this area right here. That's safe and easy, and you'll definitely catch a lot of fish. All right, next bay. We should be ranking these bays because we're trying to figure out what's the best bay, right?
Yeah.
We'll figure that out at the end. Okay, here we go. One of your bays.
Oh, there we go.
Huntington, man. What was your
I would
experience up there?
I would start over by the PCH Bridge. That's kind
Hold
of
on. Let me pull it up on the.
Yeah, go
up on
north.
Jeeves real quick. Hold on a second. Where are you at, Huntington? There you are. Wait. There you are. There it is. All right, let me zoom out. Huntington, my experience, drove almost 6.5 hours, caught one fish. Chet had me all nervous about fish in the morning, so this is the only time I fish at night, and it was awful. You're a morning guy too, right?
I'm a morning guy too.
Yeah. Not just because I'm a wimp and I can't stay up late. It's mainly too because I just can't see. I'm a cast and retriever, and I just can't. It's like that sense is gone, dude. You can't.
Yeah,
I can't see my line. Same thing with you. I'm sure when you're casting, dude, we're casting in these narrow windows, dude, like the width of a bowling alley, and like the second the bait leaves my hand, if it's not going to do just what I want, it's like a pull back real quick because I know I'm not going to make it. So retry again. And if I don't have that sense, I don't have that confidence to launch that thing to where I think a fish is going to be. And that's, I'm not going to go out there and hit people's boats. I'm very careful.
Yeah.
I rarely hit a boat, but at night, man, I just don't have the confidence to get those tight windows.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I got to see my stuff, and I don't know how these guys go out there and blind cast and not ding up all these boats and get hooked onto ropes and everything else.
Glenn says SD. All right, you guys, if I show your favorite bay, give it a shout out right here. Glenn likes SD Bay. Yeah, that's quite a bay. All right, let's talk about what do we got here? This is Huntington. Yeah,
Huntington. So let's go north first, and I would say to the
launch ramp's right. The launch ramp is right. Wait, where am I?
Next one over.
Right over here. Here's your boat launch ramp right here, guys. $12 to launch there, I think. It's $16. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something like 15, I think.
Yeah, and you got really two different fishing options here. You want to talk about this bay?
Yeah. So from the boat ramp, you can go right there, past that peninsula right there, and go into Anaheim Bay right there, and you're gonna get a lot of grass. You're gonna get some plateaus, drop offs. That bridge is like a freeway of fishes. So if you want numbers, that's where you're going to want to go. It's great during the outgoing or incoming, and they just use that strip right there as a freeway, and you could really load up on a good 20, 30, 40 fish day easily.
Wow.
Through that section.
That was not my experience, but okay.
I know. That weekend, I think I got 2. So yeah.
Oh, okay. It wasn't just me. All right.
No.
It was Chet, the guy that had the good day. He's still smiling about that night.
So as you come back in, it's docks galore. There is some grass down the main channel and through some of the bigger strips that go around some of those islands. So there is some grassy areas to do a little bit of both. Crankbait around those corners. There's a kind of a good rock wall there, right at that point right there.
Got it.
A pretty fishy point right there. You get a little, a pretty good drop off, and throwing your crankbait or a good heavy paddle tail and working that ledge there is really good. And working down some more, you're going to get into more shallow.
What's with this area right here? This little beach area. Is that fishable waters?
Yeah.
Looks like grass to me. Let me zoom in.
There is
cool thing about Ask Jeeves is you can actually use this for some recon work. Like if I've never fished this before because I didn't know this existed until I looked at this, but it looks like grass, grass. Yeah, maybe a dead out here, but man, probably decent in there.
Yeah.
You ever
A
get
lot
into
of
these
good
little
sections.
arms? God,
Oh
there's a
yeah.
lot of sections back here. Look at that. Kind of
Yeah.
reminds me a
There's
little bit of Alamitos.
a lot of fingers to go travel into.
A lot of these little beaches too. Interesting. So if you're in a kayak and you want to fish down here, down the, I guess, southern portion of it, where's a good place to launch for that?
You just passed one of them. So there's Seabridge Park that was just on the opposite peninsula of the boat ramp.
Right here?
That's a pretty good launch right there. The little sandy. Yeah, there you go. The Seabridge Park there, free parking. Um,
Nice.
Tri-City is right to the north of that island a little bit. Yeah, right there. There's a bridge right there.
Oh, got it.
And that's a pretty good launch area right there too. Parking could be hit or miss. And then down by Warner, which will be on the very south end of the harbor, there's not a bad place to launch. There's another small little boat ramp on that
Right
side
there?
to the left a little bit.
Right there?
Yeah.
I was fishing. I got desperate. I know this is the boundary right here, right, for Spotty Bowl, this
Yeah.
bridge. I got
Yeah.
desperate and went down here, and I was fine. I didn't find any fish, but I found it pretty grassy down here. So I'm imagining, when this place heats up and gets good, that's going to be good. But man, guys, I wish I could give some advice on this, but it looks like it's just docks, and more docks, and a little bit of
I
grass.
don't know what happened because like the weekend before when my buddy and I pre-fished it, we nailed it. We had a 30 fish day. A little bit of mixed bags of at the Anaheim Bay, and then hitting some decent ones down by that Warner Bridge, and it just turned off in literally like 4 days. That whole weekend was brutal.
It can be like that if a cold front rolls in and they're just
Yeah,
they could be in there. They're just not biting.
they're just not biting.
They're hunkered down. They're surviving the weather and they're not biting. But it's gonna all change. All right, let's move on to the next bay, Huntington. That is on the schedule coming up in not after Newport. Scary. I've already used my mulligan, so scary weekend. Very scary weekend for me.
Well, like I told you, the water's nice. It's staying warmer there, so I think you'll get a different experience there.
I need it. All right, here we go. Place I do love. Let me bring this up.
Alamitos.
Alamitos Bay. So Alamitos Bay, known for big, in my experience, big fish up there.
Yeah. Brett's
Yeah,
found some gigantic monsters in there.
Alamitos Bay I think that was the smallest bay, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you can kind of see why. Man, now that you look at it on the map, it's pretty small. It's got this kind of main grassy channel. You launch this launch ramp called Davies right here, and it's got what 2 or 3 bridges in this map. Yeah, 3 bridges.
3, yeah.
And basically, it's just this big rotation around this peninsula, and it's covered by docks. I mean, there is an area out front here, but I've never found grass in that area. That it's just.
There's
went up
patches. There's patches of grass there.
Is there?
There's some holes. Yeah, there's some holes. You could find some fish. It's definitely like sparse though. I mean, it is like you said, mostly a desert. You're probably gonna pick up a halibut before you pick up a bass, though.
I went through that whole area and it seemed like flat and a ghost town. Like when I'm looking on my graph, just trying to find something, trying to find a shopping cart or something through in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was like a ghost town. Okay, we got Nara's favorite place in the world right here, right?
Oh yeah, right
There's
there,
Ballast Point.
That's
So where's
Nara's
he
home
park?
right there.
As he walk in and they're like, Norm, but it's like Nara.
Yeah.
That's his ears.
He parks right there.
I think this is free, a free ramp to hook up to, right? You go up this ramp, and so any spotty bowlers that want to just give up and give us an upper edge, man, just head on over there and go up that ramp. Ballast Point's awesome. We got tons of docks in Alamitos. It's another place. A lot of you guys up north, man, they just docks. So if you're a dock fisherman, man, it's got docks everywhere. Just point in a direction, and there's docks in Alamitos. And then you can come this area right here. I think this is called Marine Stadium, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Marine
Marine
Stadium.
Stadium, and
And I think if there's having
supposedly,
an event in there, am I right on this? If there's an event in there, or it's before, is it 8 or 9 in the morning, you're not allowed to fish in there. But I've never seen an event, so I don't know what the rules are on that. But
yeah, I think the rule of thumb is like be out of there by 8 a.m.
that's what I've heard on Jeeves is 8 a.m.
Yeah, and I don't know. I haven't gone in there just because all I see is like a bunch of rowers going back and forth through there, so don't want to get run over by those guys.
Oh yeah. Well, did you hear my story about getting hit by one? Or you were there?
Yeah,
What am I
I
talking
was
about?
there.
I was there. I got one of those rowing guys who got a little aggressive and rammed into me.
Wow.
Which bay has the best? What does that say? Micheladas? Look at who chimed in. I don't know. That's the question you need to answer.
Yeah.
AC Me says Huntington Harbor doesn't have many resident fish. They transport between, is it a Belosa Chicha wetlands? Am I saying that right? And the naval area,
Bolsa
that's
Chica.
why it's hit or miss.
Yeah, Bolsa
Yeah, I
Chica.
believe that. I believe that. It's kind of the same in Mission Bay. They go wherever the food is. So if the food's out front or out in the grass, that's where they usually go. I mean, we're the same way, right? We're going to go wherever the food's at. Some of us wherever the, what do you say, Micha Peaches are at. If you guys want during your spotty bowl tournament, it's got this back area right here, a lot of docks, very shallow, a lot of trash in that area.
Very
Trash.
trashy. Yeah.
My new boat, I can get under this bridge, so I'm super pumped about that. So my old boat, the tower was too tall, but now I got this little tiny boat, which that's what I'll be fishing up in all the North Bays. You go right under this bridge, and then you can make this loop right here. I've never fished in this area right here. I'm curious, but it's so narrow in my boat. It's hard for me to navigate through there. So you got
Yeah.
kind of an interesting.
I've been in there. I haven't been very impressed.
I'm sure there are guys that are
super
like,
shallow.
that's the spot, but I can't tell you if it is or isn't. But
Yeah,
yeah,
super
super
shallow.
shallow,
I don't know.
super narrow, and there's always like boats coming in and out, so it's kind of a rough area. But you got docks all the way around, and you also got out front. So this is why this is the smallest bay, because it's really just this one kind of loop.
One loop.
But
Yeah.
it holds big fish, guys. Holds big fish. All right, let's see what we got next here. Where are we at in time here? Oof, we're already at an hour. You got more than an hour in you, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, here we go. Finally. Mission Bay. What, have you ever fished down there before?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. Mostly by Dana Landing and like that bridge by SeaWorld and fishing that area. I haven't ventured too far.
Good. We don't want you down. No, this bay is incredible. Are you in? JTS Diaz says in San Diego Bay right now. What's the water temperature in there right now? Are you in there right now? And what lure? Oh, you're in San Diego Bay. And what lure can you use? Let's see. What is this question here? Hi, what boat docks are you able to fish, and you're not able to? So San Diego Bay is kind of tough. San Diego Bay, there's everywhere you go, it's kind of like a no fishing zone. It's a little tougher. If you have to fish San Diego Bay, right in front of Hospitality Point, there's a long row of rocks right there. If you can cast, if there's no wind, you can cast out pretty far right there. That's a good spot, Hospitality Point. Also Spanish Landing, which is right behind Hospitality Point. There's a good beach right there. There's a bridge you can fish at. But you're going to have to go around in San Diego Bay. There's a couple piers you can fish from. They're usually pretty busy. Not really a spotty guys go to those a lot. But my recommendation, leave San Diego Bay and go to this baby, Mission Bay, because there's endless fishing at Mission Bay. All these beach lines. I mean, we are so lucky to have Mission Bay. It's kind of unique because like all the bays we've been looking at are basically homeowners own all this, right? And then they've got a dock out front. So, but the thing that's unique about Mission Bay is it's surrounded by all parks, like beaches and parks, and this is all fishable areas from shore. So if you're a shore pounder, man, I don't think there's a better bay for shore pounding than Mission Bay. There's so many spots. I mean, just pick your spots. We have these things called riprap, which is this rock right here. Let me tell you guys, it's a little slippery, it's a little dangerous, but it's all fishable, and the fish love to hang out here. And when you can figure out your spots for Mission Bay and these riprap rocks, You can get some killer bags. Look at Alex Norton he's throwing a 70-inch bag every single session this year from shore. And that's not that the LA guys aren't. They have their spots too. But Mission Bay has a lot of, free fishing zones. There's even like this area is a good spot right here. I'm going to tell you guys, if you're brand new to shore pounding, this is Paradise Point. This is a great spot to start at. It's got grass out front. And if you want, it's got this little dock right here. And that's a fishable dock.
Yeah, I fished
fishable
there
dock.
before. Yeah.
And if with Nara, you can go right over here to the barefoot bar too. Once you've got 10 casts in. I was just there the other night. in this area right here, have you ever ate at this restaurant?
Yeah.
This pond right here, I'm not kidding, has a minimum of like 3 or 4 3-pound spotties in it, and it's got yellowtail. It's got the horn sharks in there. What?
Wow.
There's like a guide wire that comes down from this and attaches to the shore, and there's a fluke that's wrapped around it. So you shore pound. Aaron Kruger, are you in there at night? Are you in there at night? What are you spotty bowlers doing in there? Love the barefoot bar. I do too. Let's see here. Brian's mixing Mission Bay and San Diego Bay. I'm looking at, what are you talking about, Salty? I'm looking at Mission Bay right here. Anyway, that's where the big fish live, I guess. I don't know. Free Willy, man. Spotties can jump out of there. All right, let me talk about Mission Bay a little bit. So Mission Bay, you guys all know it's my favorite, mainly because I'm a grass fisherman. I don't like fishing the docks that much. I'll do it, but I don't. And there's just grass everywhere. My PB has come out of this main channel right over here by SeaWorld. Ton of grass, thick grass, and there's big fish in there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that channel right there.
This channel is nice. It's 5 miles an hour, so it's like fishing a lake. San Diego, you got all your guys' bays are 5 miles an hour, but you guys that fish San Diego Bay, man, we got these rich guys in these yachts that are just, man, they got that tilt, they got that motor tilted up, and they got that yacht in a full-on wheelie, wide open, burning a gallon a minute, and they are putting out. I'm talking a tidal wave, Sammy. You guys don't experience that, but even in my boat, man, I'm like, okay, I got to hold all my rods. Hold on, here it comes. Yeah. These guys aren't messing around, but Mission Bay is like fishing a lake, man. 5 miles per hour, pretty much everywhere. Grass.
They jet ski on the other side of that point, though, don't they? Because
over here is the jet ski area. Don't fish this area, guys. This beach is designated here for. They launch all their jet skis, I guess, right here or at South Shore, and they're just doing wide open loops, man. They're there for 2 hours, and they're gonna get. I mean, those jet skis are flying around that spot right there. So yeah, that's not. Here's my favorite launch ramp, which is South Shore. Brand new facilities, got bathrooms, easy to launch from. Big wide facility right there. There's some fishy fish over there, and then you got this big area right here, which I call this bowling pin island right here because it looks like a big bowling pin. But if you hit out in front of this first thing in the morning, this is a nice, perfectly calm spot. There's no pleasure boats out there. This is a high-speed area once the pleasure boaters get on there, so be careful if you go in there. But first thing in the morning, those people aren't up yet. And it's a good spot. I did a video on Instagram where I fished that on my kayak, and I don't know, caught fish every 3 casts. So when this place is popping, man, it's a good place to go and figure out. There's some holes in there. There's grass. There's also an area to launch your kayak right here. You can park right over here, launch right here, so it's very accessible. If you're brand new to Mission Bay and you're coming down from LA, this is where I'm going to recommend. You launch right here, and if you're into grass fishing, early in the morning, fish right out front. Limited docks. We do have some docks. We got this is Dana Landing right here. Can be good, but it's really thick in grass. And in your guys' standard, there's not a lot of docks in here. There is some docks in here. This is the rental yard area. Oh yeah, here's Fastlane Kayak Center, by the way, guys. Check them out.
Yep.
But there's big fish in there. You can find some fish in there, but get in there, hit it. If they're in there, stay in there. If not, get out of there. And then we also have this is our main channel, Mission Bay, about 22 feet deep. And we got these bridge pylons. Always try those out. And then we got some, like Newport, we got some mooring boats over here.
Yeah. The docks on the other side was pretty good too. On the opposite side, we found some pretty good fish in there.
Oh yeah, this is Quivarium Basin. Yeah. So if you're really into dock fishing, this is the biggest dock area in Mission Bay. We got our commercial fleet right over here. And hit all these docks. You just never know if they're going to be in there or not, but that's a place you can check out. And then we've got this area called Sail Bay, which is another one of my favorites. Only problem with this area is it's full of sailboats, and those guys will not turn an inch. They'll come within an inch of your kite. They're not gonna move that rudder a bit. So if you see them coming for you, just get out of their way. They're not moving an inch. But that's Sail Bay grass. There's a big drop off. You go right to this building right here, and if you could draw a straight line across right here, there's a nice drop off at that point of it. So when you enter Sail Bay, go from this point to that building right there, and there's a nice little drop off channel right here that can be somewhat fishy right there. But
Yeah, I can see that.
if you want to, and there's mooring boats over here too, and there's mooring boats over here if you're into fishing that kind of stuff. But Mission Bay, I love it. One day we're gonna have to get down here, Sam. You're gonna try it out more. All right, let's move on to the next bay. I think we're down to our last one here. Mission Bay is the last bay. All right, so let's give our final thoughts then here. Hold on, let me stop this. Let's go ahead and give some final thoughts here on our bay fishing here, since we're talking about what are some pros and cons. I'm going to say, first of all, what's your favorite bay? Like if you have Sunday off, the bite's the same in every single bay. There's no advantage to one. Just take the facilities, the type of fishing, everything. What is your favorite bay to head out and fish?
You'll always find me at Newport. It's kind of home base because I feel like I've figured the characteristics of the bay, and it's just been very steady for me. So I would say like Newport. It's got enough mix that if I want to change techniques, if I want to do grass, if I want to do moorings, a little bit of everything, and not a lot of kicking like San Diego Bay.
Well, San Diego Bay, I think if you're planning a trip there, you pick a section. You're never gonna fish the whole thing unless you got one of those motors on the front of your kayak or in a boat. You can zip up and down because at San Diego Bay there's no speed limit. So if you're in a boat, you can bomb around. But even bombing around San Diego, even if you're in a boat, it's not fun. It's just too many wakes. So San Diego Bay, you pick an area and you fish there. So Newport for you. Surprise, surprise. Guess what my favorite is? Mission Bay. I love Mission Bay. I got most of my memories on Mission Bay. Basically, for the first 5 years or 6 years of spotty fishing, I never left it. I didn't think about San Diego Bay. I thought, oh, that bay's too big. I don't want to go in there. It's scary. Yeah. So I cut my teeth with my son in Mission Bay, fishing it, learning it for years and years. I'm not kidding. Like a 6-year period every weekend, that bay. And it's when you spend that much time in that bay, you figure it out. And you fall in love with it, man. It's like it's like a lake. It's literally like a lake, especially for Zoom morning.
That's the way I am with Newport. I mean, been going there since I was in high school, and just me and Nara would go rent a skiff and mess around, and it's been home base. So
okay, my second favorite bay. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna say mine first, and then you say it. My second favorite bay is not San Diego Bay, guys. It is Newport. I love me some Newport, mainly because it reminds me of Mission Bay. It's got that same vibe, it's got the flat area, and it's got whatever type of fishing you want. Not that San Diego Bay doesn't for me, but my second favorite is Newport. It's got, I love the front where the mooring boats are at. I love fishing that area. It's an A-rig area, which I love to fish that. And Newport's my second favorite. What's your second favorite?
I would have to say probably Alamitos, but I also don't mind because I've had a couple of decent trips in Mission Bay, and it's so much like Newport, just like you said. I might have to pick Mission Bay.
Nice. All right. So guys in chat,
I think we fish the same styles,
Got 153 people in chat right now. Guys in chat, type in the chat, what's your number one bay that you like to fish? Can be north, can be south, can be whatever. Let's see. We got it says good show tonight. I might have to check out some bays up north. You're a San Diego guy. Dude, if you're gonna go up north, I think start at Newport. You won't be disappointed. Some of the other bays, I don't know. They're like Marine. I'm not gonna pick on Marine Del Rey. I had my best day of the year in Marine Del Rey. But they're just not the same vibe, man. Unless you're into dock fishing and you want to just go and slam docks all day. That's Marina Del Rey. But if you're out there for the vibe of like, just a cool day, Newport's got like was it the Balboa Island thing going?
Yep.
Like it's got people are running around in their Duffies all happy. It's like just a cool vibe at Newport. I just love that place. David says, of course he does. Newport's his #1 bay. Salty Dangler says second is Newport. Let's see. Ken the Fishing Fool says Alamitos. Is that where you got your 4-pounder? Is that why you like that? Nara says he likes Newport. Man, a lot of Newports coming in here. Saltwater charters. All right. Watching out in Florida. Hey, check out Submission Fishing Code Jigs. One of our friends that was part of our community down here moved to Florida, and Submission Fishing Code Jigs are up there. Check those out. Get a hold of Muto. Tell me watch the show. Fish San Diego Bay, the big bay. All right, here we go. Some San Diego guys coming in. Yeah, San Diego Bay. Huntington, Steve. Yeah, I bet. We're gonna find out why in PB shoutouts. Ricardo says Mission Bay. All right. Hookup Baits. Chad says San Diego is my jam. Yeah, he's won a lot of tournaments out of that bay right there. Is it going to be your jam this weekend? Let's hope so. Let's see if Chad wins that species tournament out there. But San Diego Bay, I guess a lot of people are uncomfortable in Mission Bay because it's a little tricky sometimes, and don't expect to go to Mission Bay usually and get 100 fish. It's not that kind of fishing. And San Diego Bay, a lot of people are more comfortable because it's, there's a lot of fish in there, man. You can go catch a bunch of fish easily. But I'm not out there for the small ones, are you? I don't want the big ones.
No.
I think the big ones are in Mission Bay. All right, we got to move on here, guys. I've got one more thing I want to show. Mission Bay and Newport cash. Mission Bay 1, Newport 2. All right, cash. Oceanside. Oceanside's tiny. I don't know why we can't have a spotty bowl event in there. It's just too small. But Oceanside, I've never heard anybody say that. Maybe that's because it's ocean. I gotta hit that more. I've only fished there with Salty Dangler, I think, twice. Alamitos, Chase says, all right. San Diego Bay, fresh one. What's up? All right. So the consensus I feel.
Looks like San Diego Bay's got a lot of votes.
I'm looking, and a lot of San Diego people in here are voting for Newport.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Newport being probably the spotty guy's favorite bay. I mean, we got a lot of guys in here that are, I don't know, not many Mission Bayers. I'm not seeing that. So I'm going to say Newport. What do you think? What do you guys think? It looks like Newport to me.
Yeah, it looks like Newport.
And if I wasn't so in love, Todd says Mission Bay. If I wasn't so in love with Mission Bay, I would say Newport also. Alamitos. And what's AS? Alamitos, Jared says. And he must have meant Mission Bay. Alamitos, same way. If you like docks, it's good. All right, guys, let's move on. I got some more info I want to share with you guys. We got 153 people in chat right now. So if you guys could please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, all that. I'd really appreciate it. Me and Sammy and all these guests I have on, we put a lot of work into this show. And we're trying to make a good, I guess this is kind of a saltwater bass show. We talk a little bit more about just spotties. All right, let's move on here to the next. We got some math to show off here.
My name is David, and you're watching Snagging Grass and Catching Bass.
All right, here we go. What bay has the biggest spotties? So 2 years ago, I broke these bays down. I used some math based on our spotty bowl results to figure out what had the biggest fish, biggest spotted bay bass. And this is a spotty bowl 2023. Sorry, guys, I haven't done an updated version of this, but this is some numbers that came out on a long time ago when I did a show on this. But I took the Masters division only, figuring those are probably the guys that know these bays the best. So I took the Masters, and I know you're going to critique this a little bit, but I took the top 10 Masters, and this is their score from each bay, January, February. And we're going to compile it a lot of different ways. So we got San Diego Bay, Alamitos Bay. Back then, we didn't fish Marina Del Rey or Huntington. So sorry, you Marina Del Rey guys. That'll have to come after this spotty bowl season. I'll get those numbers together. But average bags here, so San Diego Bay having the biggest by far at 70.15, and Mission Bay coming in with a 47. And I think there's a lot in the bottom 10 right there. We're kind of some lower numbers right here. We're going to cruise through these since we're an hour and 20 minutes in. This is April, May, and March Masters. You can see the average bag sizes there. San Diego Bay also coming in. But all right, let's break this down a little bit more here. Okay, so we have San Diego Bay, Alamitos Bay, Newport Bay, and Mission Bay, and this is the total 3 sessions added up. So the 3 sessions that I just talked about added up, there's their total scores, average bag size right there. So San Diego Bay coming in again, average fish size. That seems small for Alamitos.
Yeah, it does.
Considering that Alamitos has it. This is just math, guys. I hope you're following along. I'm going through this fast, but and that was the top 10. This is the top 5 masters. So your top 5 masters bags of these bays for 3 sessions. And there we go. So if we went to just to the top 5 masters, then now we're talking here. Alamitos Bay with a 14.9 inch average being the biggest. If you went to just the top 5 master bags. Mission Bay, man, what's going on here? 13.8. So when we go to the top 5 guys, the top biggest bags, Alamitos coming in there. Newport 14.49, pretty close to San Diego Bay. All of them pretty close, actually.
Yeah.
First place masters. So this is the first place bags for all 3 sessions out of those. And once again, Alamitos. So the guys that really hit it, the top 5 guys that really hit high scores, 15.6 average out of Alamitos. So big fish out of there. San Diego Bay coming in second. Mission Bay third. Newport right there though, 15.8. So that's a pretty big average fish, but that is the first place masters bags. A lot of math here. The top 10, top 5, and the winners, if I just took those and averaged them out, San Diego Bay actually had the biggest bags. All right, let's move on for that. Biggest bags out of each bay. That was a famous year. Mike Brown finally broke the brown barrier, 81, first one to do that. Dario, 77. Chad in Newport, 76. And Alex Norton down in Mission Bay at 75. So Alamitos, again, biggest bag of the year.
Yeah.
San Diego Bay coming in pretty tight, though. Dario, where are you at? I haven't seen him. It's not in it this year. Biggest spotty that year ever caught and tied this year with Chuck is 18-incher. That's a famous fish. Salty Dangler back in chat. Seems about right for Mission Bay. What are you talking about, Salty? We're going back to they're still voting on here. San Diego Bay all day. Got to drop the zeros. Yeah, I know. It's Salty. I'm sorry. My math this is probably not that good of a representation of what's going on. I tried. All right, this is mainly what we get to. Bay with the biggest spotties was Mission Bay with a 14.5 average. That's for 2023. And Mission Bay coming with a 13.24. Dang, yeah, Mission Bay's tough for a lot of people, man. But San Diego Bay, I think people are really comfortable there, and there's a lot of big fish in there. But I would give Alamitos it would give it a good run for its money. Newport's kind of like Mission, but when you have a big day in Newport, man, we had a day where we had 3 80-inch bags coming out of that bay. But here's what really counts, Sam. The world's record spotty. Guess where it was caught? That's right, guys. So forget all those other bays. We don't care about any of that stuff. The biggest spotty that's ever recorded was 4 pounds, 15 ounces. This is IGFA world record. I actually had him as a guest on the old show where we talked about catching this fish. He caught it in Sail Bay on a spinner bait, supposedly by some kind of mooring, I don't know, marker or something. He said he casted right by that with a white spinner bait and pulled in a 20. Can you imagine 23?
Wow.
Is that amazing? And that's an IGFA on a scale certified fish. So it's like he's not long arming that thing. That's a legit fish. 20. Did you even think they got that big?
No.
I've heard of
a 20-inch.
I've heard of a 19s, seen 19s on measuring device. Never seen I've heard of a 20-inch, but I've never seen one on a measuring device.
I've seen a 20-inch on a picture on a measuring board.
Okay.
Actual catch board. So. Yeah, but that's as big as I've seen on a measuring board.
20 to 23 is a big jump. Yeah.
Can
you imagine if you caught that in Spotty Bowl? Oh my gosh.
That thing's got to be ancient.
The bag you would be going for, if you get a fish like that and you get a couple 15s and try to hit that like 90-inch bag. Oh my God. Oh yeah.
Gosh.
And it's a female. You can see that bright yellow orange just under there. It looks like it's, I don't know. It's got a big gut. Maybe it's pre-spawn. Maybe that's why it got the weight, but I would think that actually would be heavier than 4 pounds 15. I mean, that's almost 5 pounds, I guess. So yeah, probably about right.
Yeah.
Look at the size of the tail, though. It's got like a 4-inch
Crazy.
tail, it looks like. I know. So there is your world record out of Mission Bay. So yes, Mission Bay is the best bay. All right, Sammy, you ready to do this?
PB?
Let's go ahead, guys, and move on to this segment. And like I said, can you guys please hit that like button for me? I'd really appreciate it. Get this thing going. Are you guys ready?
We've seen you out on the water. They say you fishing harder. I guess we'll find out this week on our PB Shoutout!
What's up, guys? If you didn't know that, it's Cal up front double fisting. What's up, Cal, in chat? If you want to be on PB Shoutout, send me. Brian Likes to Fish on Instagram or on Sagging Grass and Catching Bass on Instagram or on Discord, a picture with a story, something I can read, please. It can be anything. It could be a fish you caught 20 years ago. It could be a fish you caught recently you're proud of. Doesn't have to be a PB. It could be your kayak, can be a boat. Anything you want to send it in, and I will put it on the show. All right, here we go. First up, we got this guy. Dang, largemouth are going off,
Wow.
dude. That, if you don't know who that is Cody Mead. He says, "Hey Brian, I'm currently in Spotty Bowl Weekend Warrior Division and was hoping I could send you in a recent PB I caught for PB Shoutouts." Of course you can. That's what this is for. Send them in. I caught this in Lake Poway on a white jig, and it weighed 6.6 pounds. Jeez, pre-spawn fish. Look at the gut on that sucker. How's your
Crazy.
largemouth game?
Not that good. I mean, I'm bouncing around like local ponds over here, and like maybe 1 to 2 pounders.
1 to 2. Hey, onesie twosies, still fun, right?
Yeah.
Here's another picture of that thing. Man, dude, you always like occasionally I'd go out and I catch largemouth, and man, dude, when you get used to spotties and you catch one of these things, you're like, geez, man, that thing's ridiculous. The guts on them are huge. I love catching the green bass. He says, I was also hoping you could give me some advice on fishing Mission Bay. I'm currently in 7th place in the Weekend Warriors. Oh man, on the bubble, and I'm hoping to make the playoffs. Sometimes Mission Bay can be a struggle for me. So can you give any advice? I'd much appreciated it. My advice would be to get good at 3 different types of fishing, and that is fishing grass for sure, fishing the docks, and also learning how to fish the edge of the riprap. And go out there and figure out if they're in the docks, they're in the riprap, or in the grass. And once you've figured out where they're at, stick to those general zones, and you can find them. They're usually, if they're in the docks, they're in the docks. They're in the grass, they're in the grass. If I was going to start, I would probably start in the grass this time of year, because the water's heating up and those things are trying to get fast because it's pre-spawn right now. So they're trying to get fat. So they're in that grass grinding those razor clams right now. So find yourself some good grass fishing is what I recommend. He says he's on a Boston whaler called the Bird Dog. If you ever see him out there, give us a wave. All right, I will do that. Thanks, Cody, for sending that in. Next up, we got, of course, this guy. That is Chad from Hookup Baits. What's going on, Chad? Jeez, is he long arming that, or is that like a ridiculously big fish?
Picasso and a big red. Nice.
Jeez, dude. Those are huge. I've never caught one like that big. I don't think I've ever even seen one in person that big. Chad says, I caught a 16-pound grouper. Let me see if I can find that picture. That must be it right there. Caught a 16-pound salmon grouper, just 1 pound shy of the California record. Wow, congratulations, man. Let me guess what you got it on, Chad. Hookup bait. Let's see. It says the last Saturday on the Hookup Bait sponsored trip aboard the Black Pearl out of Murano Bay. The trip also yielded some big rockfish and lean cods. Man, that's a beast. You ever caught one of those?
Yeah, not that big though.
What do you say? 16 pounds. Jeez, man, you got to be prepared for like that. If you're like out with your spotty rod and you hook into that thing, good luck, man.
The bad part is like reeling up like 300, 400 feet.
Yeah, I've been out a couple times with Muto where he's taking me out to those deep drops and like, man, dude, that's a long way. It's usually like a 2-pound fish. That's a long way up. Man, look at the size of that thing. Look at the size of that bait. What are you fishing there, Chad? You know what that is? It looks like at least a 1 ounce, 2 ounce. I don't know. That thing's huge.
Oh, it's gotta be bigger. Yeah, it looks like a good 3 ounce.
Here we go. He said tackle use. No, get this. It's a 3 4 and 6 ounce hookup baits, double rigged on a big spinning setup, an Akuma 10,000 reel, and Akuma PCHXH76 rod. So, man, 6
Wow.
ounce. No wonder that thing looks so big. The size of a garden hose. Jeez.
6 ounce ice. Jeez.
Oh, there it is. Chad says 6 ounce ice. 6 ounce. Dang. Well, if you got to get down to the bottom, you want to get down there quick, right? Plus all that current, got to get down there. Then we got this guy right here. What's up? Spotty Bowler Ludwig having a great year this year. He says using the Daiwa medium power rod, the Daiwa Exceller 1000 reel, 12-pound braid, 12-pound monoflare leader. He says, I hooked into this at Marina Del Rey, and man, this fish took me for a heck of a ride. Look at that. Out of Marina Del Rey, who would guess? Was that 5.86 pounds bass? Jeez. Marina Del Rey, man, it's got some stuff going on over there, huh? I hooked into a big sand bass during my tournament. I think it was 19.5 inches long. So it wasn't that size, but that's a big boy right there. We're going to go ahead. And he also sent in a video with no sound on it. But let's go ahead and add this here. Check this out.
That's a nice one.
That's a nice one. It's almost 6-pounder from shore, dude. That's even makes that cooler. There's a bait. Looks like he's using, looks like an underspin with HD bait. Underspin, looks like right there. You know, these guys are looking like, oh, I know that exact spot. I know that fire hose. I have no idea what's going on, Maria. Thanks, Ludwig, for sending that in. That is a beast of a fish. Congratulations on that guy. Next up, we got HD Baits in the house. What's up, David? HD Baits, man. Those guys are fishing spotties, trouts. They're all over the place. Looks like he got himself a nice trout, David. Congratulations on that. He says, Matthew Woods caught a trout using HD Baits 4-inch battle tails fishing in his private lake. What? Get access to that.
Yeah.
All trout were caught on ultralight gear using HD Baits, OG Battle Minnow. The fight was amazing on the HD Baits. Let me go through some of these pictures. Sent me a lot here. Look at that. It must be cold, man. These guys are bundled up. Where the heck is that? Is that Southern California? Doesn't look like it. Maybe. At Mojave Lake. Never mind. I didn't read far enough. At Mojave Lake, everyone used custom rods with a Vanford 1000 size reels, Stella 1000 size reels on 4-pound braided line. Oh man, 4-pound. You ever get down to the 4-pound line?
Nope.
That's trout. Yeah, that's because you get that big trout rod. That's all that parabolic action. You know what I mean? That can take. And the trout are trout. You know what I mean? They're not spotties, but get that parabolic 4-pound line and 2-pound floral leader. Oh my gosh! I've said this on the show. Have you ever tied a knot with 2-pound?
I couldn't do it.
My hands are too stupid. I cannot. I mean, they're just like, I don't know, impossible. I don't know how you even tie a knot. I've gone out and just for fun caught spotties on 2-pound line, but challenges in tying the knot. There we go. All right, a lot of trout out there. The HD Baits guy out there shredding it up. Look at that bag. Dang, it's gonna be a fish fry tonight. Nice bag. Next up, we got this guy. So let's see. I'm going to let you do this PB shot. That is Nara. And when he's not at the fishing spotty bowl or he's not sucking down a drink, looks like he's swimming with dolphins.
He's dancing with dolphins.
All right, I'm going to let you give this a shot. It's your turn on this one.
So Nara's my cousin, and we were at Puerto Vallarta, and his niece backed out of the dolphin encounter. So he's like, let me do it. And this is him enjoying the swim with the dolphins. And even though he's had a rough 2025, he does catch fish. There you go. This is where you'll find him. Ballast Point or any of the other places where you could find a good michelada and a burger.
All right. So for 2025, he's got the skunk off the kayak. Has he only caught one fish this year?
That's right.
One fish, but none in spotty bowl. So is this the weekend? Are you going to give him some hints? Are we going to see a Newport bag? Are we going to see a 5-fish bag this week or what?
He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
He's in chat. We are all cheering for you, man. When I do the results show, man, we want to see you're gonna have to get there first thing in the morning. That's on the water at 6. and on the water at 6, and try to fish at least till 10 before you hit up, Ballast. No, it's not at Ballast Point. Where do you go? Where does he go in Alamitos? Balboa Island or something? Or some kind of
Balboa
hot-
Island. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's stay away from Balboa Island until you get your 5 fish bag. All right. So we're all going to be cheering for you, Nara. And during the results, we're going to see what you can do out there. We got it. Just follow your cousin around, man. Follow him around and do what he does. He gets 5 fish bags. This is the weekend. This is the weekend, dude. You're going to do it. All right. So we're all cheering for you. I can't wait to see how your bag comes out. Get out there, get 5 fish, and then go to Balboa. All right. Next up, Andrew sent me a picture, and then he said, I wanted to send a picture of my photo of my son, Emmett. What's up, Emmett? Spotty bowler, doing good in the youth division down there. He's also in the youth division and the Weekend Warriors 2 divisions. Let's go, man. Congratulations.
Right on.
We took a trip to the islands, and everything was a dropper loop or a yo-yo on the way out. Emmett noticed 2 mackerels in the bait tank. Yeah, that's the key, right? When you can find that, like, it's been a while since I've been on a boat like that, but when you can find that lively bait, it's like kicking. They just dumped it in there, and you're like, oh, I'm going to snag that thing up. And asked the deckhand if he could use them and set them aside. We went to the rock pile. He dropped that mackerel and immediately got hooked up. Thanks to the mackerel, we were able to bring home that yellowtail. Let's go, yellowtail time.
Right on.
Right on. Dude, that fish is almost as big as you, Emmett. Jeez. It's been a while since I caught a yellowtail because I haven't fished La Jolla in quite some time. And my PB is only either 23 or 28. I don't know. It's been so long. I've never like hooked into a big one. But even like that 23 or 28, whatever it was a serious fight, man. When you're used to largemouth or bass or whatever, you don't really realize the power of the yellowtail. How's your yellowtail game?
Not that great. I've been on some boats and like skunked out, or I've been broken off so many times. My biggest is probably, I want to say maybe like around 18 pounds or so.
Yeah,
maybe
right.
breaking 20.
You're right there with me then, just barely over 20. But man, I see some like guys like Chad and those guys that are out there kicking those, what are they, 50 pounders, 40 pounders? Jeez, what's that like? Here's some more pictures of him catching it. Got the full bendo going right there, man. Jeez, that's a nice fight, dude. Is this your brother? Nice. That's a nice yellowtail right there. And we got a video too. Let's go ahead and add this.
Oh, that's. Oh, and it just. Oh yeah, that's a.
You're that proud dad. Andrew, what'd you guys do that? Emmett, how'd you guys cook that thing? Ceviche, tacos, what are we talking here? But congratulations on that, man. That's a killer fish. And those things aren't easy to get in all the time, too. They're a fight. No. So good job on that, man. All right, next up, we got this guy. We all knew this guy is. What's up, Steve? Let's go, Steve. Steve Chum Solo says, I watched a large fish for 2 weeks in Huntington Beach. You ever do? I mean, I've never thought about sight fishing spotties. That's kind of an odd game, isn't it? Like it's pretty much unheard of, but he must have a largemouth background where he's like just looking for them. I don't know. I'm more of a cast and figure it out kind of dude. It was in only 3 feet deep of water. I finally caught it on the Abyss 90 stick bait. Dang, dude, top water. You ever try topwater baits for spotties?
No.
It was taco time, Andrew says. That yellowtail turned into good. No topwater bait for me either. I mean, I would love, I think I said last week, I said, imagine if spotties were topwater bait fish. It would be twice as many people fishing it. Yeah. It would be insane. He says he caught it on the Abyss 90 stick bait within 15 seconds of a dead stick technique. So I'm pretty sure that's where you throw the stick bait in and you let that fish just look at it. It's like you throw it in, it hits the water, wait 15 seconds. And if you've never worked a stick bait, it's like this.
Yeah.
It pops. It goes like this. So you wait 15 seconds and you pop. Can you imagine a spotty fishing that technique? I suck at fishing this stick bait, but I go out with guys on largemouth fishing that are good at that, and that's like a dance, dude. They can just get that thing dancing, dude. My son can dance those things like crazy. An old school, he caught it on his old school Shimano BFS, knew immediately that was the same fish that he had seen. I had named it Roger. All right, got a named fish out there. It was difficult to land this fish on my chum solo kayak. A week later, I fished the same area for the LA Fishing Alliance tournament and won first place with a big bag. Let's go. He caught a 16.5, a 16.75, and a 17.5 for a 50.5 inch total 3-fish bag, and it was an amazing experience. Did you fish that and see that bag?
No, I missed that. I missed that tournament.
Yeah, man, that's an amazing bag right there. And here we go. You ready to see this fish? Look at this sucker, man. Pushing the 18.5 boundary right there. Jeez, man. One inch deduction for open mouth, but it's not spotted.
That's a Bates reel, though. That would be a Bates reel.
Oh my gosh. He said he caught it on a Shimano BFS. Oh yeah, it would have been a Bates reel. You would have won a Bates reel. Yeah. Man, congratulations, Steve. Pulling in a big one in there. 18.5. Wow. 3 feet of water, huh? He doesn't say what time of the year it was. Well, I guess we'd figure it out because it was right before that, which is probably last year. But congratulations, Steve. Chum solo. Good fish right there. Here we go. The scary fish of the night. Dang. I've warned you guys about these fish, the angel shark. So if you've never caught one, there you go. Judge took, this is, by the way, the judge sent these photos in. The judge finally took a big close-up of what it looks like in one of those. It's not like your nice smooth hound fish or your leopard shark. They're gnarly, and that mouth is big enough to fit your foot in. So you guys that fish barefoot, we know who's listening that fishes barefoot. Don't go flopping that in your kayak. Jeez. I don't know what kind of bait he caught it on, but something weird looking. I don't know, like a French fry or something. The judge says, my brother and I spent last Saturday afternoon fishing until about 10 p.m. We had planned to go rock fishing, but I realized halfway out to the spot that I had forgotten all my bait. Dang. Ooh, man, forget the bait at home. That's not a good idea, especially when that's all you're planning on doing. I definitely switched to spotty fishing, which is what you should have done in the first place. With limited gear, I had brought mainly, I can't pronounce this, it's NED, something rigs for night fishing. I caught a barracuda on the NED rig right away, and then nothing for a long time. We both switched to tailspins. There you go. And started getting bites. We caught 2 halibuts, just 1 barraligo, 1 calico, some barracudas. I switched to crankbaits and got a bunch of decent size. Let's get to the crankbait fishing. There's that gigantic angel shark. Jeez. That bump board's 30 inches long, I think, for reference. Jeez, that's a 4-footer then, dude.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on in the judge's boat here, by the way. I see a crankbait. I don't know, not many secrets. Got a 5-gallon bucket of something, probably snacks. As it got dark, I started rigging up again, and both of us were very successful. Around 9:30, the bite died down. We decided to have a quick competition so we could. Did you ever not have a competition, Judge? Quick competition so you catch the smallest fish. Before we went home, we both ended up catching our first ever angel sharks. Overall, a great night of fishing. My brother caught 15 fish, and I caught double that. Man, 45 fish night. Dang, that's a good night right there. Caught himself a barracuda. Oh, it's a 26-inch bump board. 26, that's an odd size. All right, next up, we got this guy. What's up? He's in chat right now. Do we have those in LA? You definitely do have angel sharks up there. I've never caught one, but I'm sure they're in your bays. You ever caught one of those up there?
Long Beach.
They're gnarly, Ken. If you get one,
I just cut it loose.
You don't even realize it has that mouth because when you pull it up, you just see the top. Like, oh, it's like a stingray. No big deal. Nothing. No big deal. And then you pull it into your kayak or your boat or on the shore, and the thing flops over upside down. And they make like, have you ever caught one?
Yeah.
They make like this weird noise with their mouth. And then you look in there and you're like, oh man, I got to get that hook out of there. And it's not a fun fish. All right. You know whose boat that is?
Ken.
Let's go, Ken. Ken, the fishing fool in chat. What's up, Ken? Thanks for hanging out for an hour and 45 minutes. He says, I got a trolling motor with batteries for $200. It got me going to get my skiff running. Sometimes that's all it takes, man. You get a good deal on Marketplace or Craigslist or something, and the next thing you know, I got this trolling motor. Might as well fix my boat, right? He says it's been sitting for 8 years. I was glad to get it running. This is only the second time in a long time that I've caught. Oh, here I'm jumping ahead here. So he's got the boat going again, guys. So now Ken is offshore fishing. I'm sure he's still foreshore fishing, but he's off into the water. There we go. Some pictures of the fixing it up. Looks like your standard boat. Lots of tools to keep the thing going. And he's fishing. What is that? Is that a Boston Whaler 1700? What? Let me see if he says what kind of boat that is. I don't see it. Looks like a 17-foot, some kind of small fishing, but actually looks really fishy. Man, that's cool. Got a nice deck. Nice and easy to get around the bays. He said, I'm going to skip forward from this picture to this picture. I got him out of order here. Sorry, Ken. He says, but this was only the second time in a long time that I've caught a calico over 8 pounds. Dang. Let's go, Ken, man.
Nice one.
What's your PB calico?
I'm barely at the 4s.
I can't remember mine, but I think I know I caught like a 7.8 with Salty Dangler in SBS once. So I think I may have got one bigger than that. So I'm probably right around that 7 or 8 pound mark right there. But those are I mean, if you're not a calico guy, those are pretty rare, man. That's a big fish.
Yeah.
8 pound. And he says, and the same day, my buddy who's only been spotty fishing twice in his life got a 2.12 pounder. Let's go. First time out. Congratulations on that fish.
Go. That's a good one.
All right. Let's see. Where is he at? That's what I'm always looking for here. Do I get any hints? I don't know. He says, an awesome day. Didn't even get seasick. He says, yeah, boy, it's been a while since I've caught one like this. Thanks, Ken, for running the trolling motor all day and allowing me to fish hard. Let's go. Good job, Ken. Next up, my mother-in-law was in town, Sammy. And I took her out on my boat. And she gets cold easy like Muto. It was 70 degrees out, but this is what when you take your mother-in-law out on the bay looks like. So she's
enjoying it, huh?
She enjoyed being out there, but man, I forget. I'm so used to being out there. I'm in like t-shirts and shorts, and she's huddled up on the back of the boat. Yeah, she's got the Muto blood, I guess, going through. She was cold out there. You know, the frigid 72 degrees. But took my mother-in-law, if you're watching What's Up, Grammy, took her around Mission Bay, showed her all my fishing spots. I'm sure that's what she wanted to see, but that's my son behind her on the mountain bike. But I go down there all the time, riding my mountain bike around, doing some recon work. And I was like, hey, hop on your scooter. Let's go. Grammy out hitting up the shore spots with me. Grammy knows all the spots, guys. And last up, man, if you guys read Western Outdoor, I got a write-up this week. I wrote the article, but it's in Western Outdoor. I caught that 10-pound largemouth, and that is in Western Outdoor. If you want to check it out, man, it's a fish of a biggest fish probably I'm ever going to catch largemouth. I have 11.24 pounds, and I got it out of Lake Barrett. And if you watch Chris the Beef Shaman's YouTube channel, he has the catch and release on that. So check that out and check out Western Outdoor Magazine.
Right on. Congrats, man.
Thanks, dude.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was just pure luck. They read the article. It tells you how I caught it, everything I did, everything like that. But it was just honestly pure luck. Salt Daniel says, congrats on the article. Thank you, man. I don't know. Do you feel like you hit the big time when you get in Western Outdoor? I don't know. Maybe. Ken says that boat is a Parker. He also asks, if we have those angel sharks. Yeah. So if you guys have any more questions right now for Sammy, we've got him in chat. Any advice you want to give these guys since you just fished Newport for Spotty Bowl coming up this weekend? Particularly me, because I haven't fished there since the beginning of the season.
Just like you said, I mean, just find out where they're at and find that zone and work it. I got to do the same thing that morning because I mean it hasn't been predictable. So, what
do you think the big bags are going to be? What do you think Brian Rosin's going to get out of there? And Chet. Chet is Chet fishing at night? Chet, are you fishing at night? Oh,
he is.
Gosh. Those nighttime guys better. Come on, man.
I think the biggest bag is going to be 77.
Ooh, so nighttime guys?
Yeah.
No, man. Let's stick up for the morning guys, dude. I'll be out there in the morning. We're gonna do it. We're gonna beat those night guys. I got to because Chet, I'm coming for you, man. You're only like an inch above me. And then Mike Brown, it's going to be a battle for, I think, that angle of the year. I'm screwed. I have no mulligans left. I have a 14-inch bag. So if I bomb out, dude, I'll be fighting my way to stay in playoffs. But I need a big bag, man. I need a big. Any quick questions here? Oh, here we go. Chase asked, Sammy, how do you use those Ogre Juniors?
Honestly, just like the sumos a little bit. But I do let them stay on the ground a little bit and kind of walk them towards me.
Can you show
So
that bait off
very,
again, please?
very little short pops. So same thing. You're just gonna drop it down, but I leave this more towards that bottom zone, so I'm bouncing it very, very little short pops back at me.
Hit the bottom. So you're fishing it just like the mercenary or the sumo,
Yep.
which is just find structure and drop. I mean,
Yep.
that's it's
Pretty
like
much.
anytime I take people out on my boat and they want to fish something vertically, I always have a lot of those on there, and it's just, hey, you know what? Just pitch this thing in, let it hit the bottom, tap it a couple times, and figure it out. Oh, we lost Sam. You lost. You got an update or something going on, Sammy. I'll wait till he gets back. No night fishing for Chet. All right. Chet must have already bailed out. He's already asleep. He's got to work tomorrow. He's not in here right now. He won't give us up if he's going to fish tonight. It looks like that is all the questions, and you've given out advice, Sammy. I mean, dude, pushing the 2-hour mark here. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate. Hopefully, I can have you on again before Spotty Ball's over. Get some more information out of you. But I really enjoy having you on the show, man. And you're a wealth of knowledge, dude. And if these guys want to follow you, how can they get a hold of you? And how can they follow you? Oh, wait,
like
hold on a
the
second. Before you get to that, we got breaking news.
What's that?
Look at your screen.
What?
Oh my gosh.
He doesn't know how to fish in the mornings anymore, though.
Are you gonna be able to wake up? Chet is fishing in the morning. Uh-oh. And Brian? Oh my gosh. We got a chance, guys. We got a chance.
Yeah.
It says we got AC says a little bit of weather this weekend. Don't say that. That's a bad word right there. All right, Sammy. So how can they get a hold of you if they want to get some information out of you?
Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Sammy PNU Fishes is where you could find me. I'm always willing to give out a bunch of answers to any questions. So
yeah, and I follow you, and you have a spotty post about every other day, it feels like. So you're out on the water, man. And I'm always looking in the background of your pictures, but I know what you do. I know your secrets. You've revealed that before. Where his pitch, where he caught that fish may not be where he took the picture of it. Dang you, Sammy. It's Spotty Bowl weekend, so you know what that means for me. You gonna chug something? What do you got? No way.
Cherry Pepsi.
Is it already open? Okay. All right. Guys, it's Spotty Bowl weekend. I got a party, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this party started. How's Nara's game at chugging? I bet it's good, huh?
Yeah.
Guys, thanks again for hanging out for 2 hours. Hope you see, it's not easy, is it? Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed hanging out here with Sammy. But like I said, if you guys can hit that like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. We are out of here. See everybody. Good luck on the water out there. Good night.